Morning, Marcus. Thank you for coming in today. How are you feeling?
Good morning. I'm feeling great, thank you. Excited to be here.
That's fantastic to hear. Let's jump right in. Can you start by telling me a bit about your background and how you got into engineering?
Absolutely. I grew up always being fascinated by how things work, especially technology. I was the kind of kid who took apart radios and computers just to understand them. I studied electrical engineering at MIT, and I've spent the last 5 years working primarily in software and systems integration.
That's impressive. MIT must have been quite the experience. What would you say were the most significant challenges you faced there, and how did you overcome them?
MIT was definitely challenging, both academically and personally. As a black student in a predominantly white institution, I had moments where I felt isolated. But I found a strong support system through student organizations and mentorships. Academically, I learned the importance of collaboration. The problem sets were so complex that you couldn't do them alone. Learning to work effectively on teams was a game changer.
It's great that you turned those challenges into growth opportunities. Speaking of teamwork, can you give me an example of a time you led a project or worked in a team to solve a complex problem?
Sure. At my last job, we were tasked with improving the efficiency of a legacy software system for one of our clients. I was the lead engineer on a small team. We had to carefully update the system without causing downtime. It took a lot of coordination, but I encouraged an open line of communication, made sure everyone's ideas were heard, and ultimately, we delivered a solution that improved performance by over 40%.
That sounds like an incredible achievement. How do you ensure you keep those communication channels open, especially when working with diverse teams?
I believe listening is key, especially in diverse teams where everyone brings different perspectives. I also make it a point to encourage people to voice their opinions, even if they feel it goes against the grain. That's usually where the most innovative ideas come from.
I couldn't agree more. Now let's talk about innovation. Our company values engineers who can think outside the box. How do you approach innovation, especially when you're faced with limited resources or constraints?
Constraints are interesting because they force you to be creative. Then I try to think about it from different angles. How can I repurpose tools we already have, or how can we leverage something that's not immediately obvious? Collaboration helps a lot here too. Different viewpoints often lead to breakthrough solutions.
That's exactly the mindset we're looking for. One last question before we wrap up. What motivates you to continue growing as an engineer?
I'm motivated by the potential to create technology that makes a difference. Whether it's through improving systems that people rely on every day or developing new solutions that address complex challenges, I love the idea that what I build can have a real impact.
That's wonderful, Marcus. Thank you for sharing your experience and insights with me today. It's been a pleasure getting to know more about your journey.
Thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate the opportunity and enjoyed our conversation.